Every achievement, every wealth acquired had its beginning in an idea. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You look at your starting point and you see nothing. No resources, no maps, no legacy to build upon, just a vast void and a burning desire in your chest calling you mad. Most people call this a disadvantage. The greatest architects in history, the true masters of reality, call it freedom, because they understand a secret that eludes the masses. The mightiest empires are not built with gold or stone, but with the invisible bricks of focused thought, with the architecture of a mind that refuses to accept the world as it is, and dares to build the world that ought to be. I am Prosperum, and I'm here to remind you of a truth your soul already knows. The mightiest empires are not built with gold or stone, but with the invisible bricks of focused thinking, with the architecture of a mind that refuses to accept the world as it is, and dares build the world that should be. In this video, you will not learn how to find resources. You will learn how to become the source. Stay here and discover how your mind can and will build an empire out of absolute nothing. But first, check if you are already registered on the channel. It was created to enrich you in all areas of your life. Every great building that now touches the heavens was once just an invisible idea, a blueprint in the mind of its creator. No one saw the tower. Everyone saw just an empty lot. But the architect, he saw the finished work before the first shovel of earth was moved. He lived in the final result. That is your first task. Live in the end result. Your current state, your bank account, your circumstances. That is not reality. It is only the shadow of past thoughts. Reality, the true reality, is what you choose to build from now. Before the Big Bang, there was silence. Before the first galaxy, there was intention. Before any empire of stone and steel that ever scraped the skies, before any dynasty that ever marked history, there was something more primal, more potent, more fundamental. There was a thought, a single, vibrant, untamed thought, pulsing in the vastness of nothingness. You have been taught to believe what you see, what you touch, what you can measure. You have been taught that reality is solid, fixed, a set of circumstances to which you must react. You have been taught to be a product of your environment. And that, my friend, is the greatest lie ever told. It is the invisible chain that has bound humanity to mediocrity for centuries. The truth is far more radical, far more frightening, and infinitely more liberating. The truth is that your environment is a product of you. The world does not shape you, you shape the world. And the tool you use is not steel, nor gold, nor political power. The tool is your mind. As this truth resonates with every fiber of your being, demonstrate your conviction. Click the like button as an act of declaration, a signal sent to the universe that you are taking control. You are an architect. Your mind is your drawing board. Your imagination is your pencil. And the universe is your blank canvas, your wasteland, waiting eagerly for your instructions. The great tragedy of life is not death, but a life lived without a blueprint. Most people wander this fertile terrain without ever drawing a single plan. They live in a fog of indecision, reacting to other people's designs, building other people's dream huts, while their own cathedral-building potential lies dormant, buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. But you're different. You feel it, don't you? That hunger, that divine dissatisfaction. It's not a vulgar greed for possessions, but a sacred hunger for expression. It's your soul, the architect within you, begging for a project so grand, so bold, so magnificent, that it will make your heart race just to contemplate it. This is the first step. This is the burning desire that Hill spoke of. It's not a passing wish, it's not a lukewarm hope, it's an obsession, a fire that consumes all other thoughts. Stop right now. Close your eyes if you must. What do you want to build? And don't give me vague answers. I want to be happy. I want to be rich. That's not a blueprint. It's a lazy wish. An architect doesn't say, I want to build a building. He knows the height in feet, the number of windows, the material of each beam, the airflow in each room. Be a master architect of your destiny. Define your empire. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like to walk its halls? Who is there with you? What is its purpose? What legacy will it leave when you're gone? Etch that image into your mind with the precision of an engineer and the passion of an artist. Make it so real, so vivid, that the physical world around you begins to seem like the real ghost. This blueprint, this crystal clear image is your North Star. It's your compass in the storm, it's your why when the how seems impossible. Without it, you are just another boat adrift on the ocean of life. With it, you are a warship sailing towards a set destination. But a design, however perfect, is only a phantom on paper, a mirage in the mind until the architect looks upon it with a conviction that shakes the heavens and declares, not as a wish, but as a suit, it shall be. And that statement brings us to the foundation upon which all lasting empires are built. It is not money, it is not contacts, it is not luck, it is belief. Unshakable belief, a faith that is not blind, but that sees with a clarity that pierces the veil of present reality. When Thomas Edison imagined a light bulb that would light up the world, he was not surrounded by evidence of its success. He was surrounded by 10,000 failures, 10,000 ways that would not work. The world, the experts' material reality itself, screamed at him that it was impossible. But Edison's belief was not in the outside world. It was in the blueprint in his mind. He did not see 10,000 failures. He saw 10,000 steps toward the inevitability of his success. His belief was not a hope. It was a spiritual gravity, a force that pulled the future toward the present. When Henry Ford decided to build a V8 engine in a single block, his engineers said it was impossible. The physics, the mechanics, the logic of the time said it couldn't be done. Ford didn't argue. He didn't debate. He simply said, "Build it anyway." He gave his team the one ingredient they lacked, their own unshakable faith. He knew that if the belief in the mind of the leader is strong enough, it becomes a law of matter. And eventually, the impossible gave way. The engine was built. Belief is the chemical that transforms an ethereal thought into a physical object. It magnetizes your mind, attuning it to the frequency of your vision. And when your mind is attuned, it begins to attract everything it needs to build it. The people, the ideas, the opportunities, the resources, they don't come by chance. They come by law, the law of attraction, which is not a magic spell, but the fundamental physics of the universe. Like attracts, like a mind saturated with faith and purpose cannot help but attract the conditions and circumstances that correspond to that faith. For those who want to drink directly from the source, to understand each of the 16 laws of this science of success, I recommend reading the monumental and original work of Napoleon Hill, The Law of Triumph. It is the master plan. And for a practical guide, a condensed map to apply these laws in your everyday life, I have prepared our field manual, the e-book, The Science Behind the Law of Attraction. The way to access it is in the description and in the first pinned comment. But your belief will be tested. Oh, how it will be tested. Oh, how it will be attacked by the doubt of others who will project their own fears and limitations onto you. They will call you crazy, a dreamer, irresponsible. They will laugh at your project. They will point out your lack of resources, your lack of experience. Worse still, it will be attacked by the most dangerous thief of all, your own inner doubt. The subtle voice that whispers in moments of weakness. Who are you to build an empire? Look at your mistakes. Remember your failures. It is better to give up before you humiliate yourself. You must become the guardian of your mental temple. You must stand guard at the door of your thoughts and allow entry only to those who are aligned with your project. Feed your belief daily. Saturate your mind with it. Talk about your vision as if it were already real. Act like the person who already lives in your completed empire. This is the principle of autosuggestion. Repeat to yourself aloud the nature of the empire you are building until the sound of your words drowns out all voices of doubt. Do this until your subconscious mind accepts your blueprint as a command, as its only reality. For when the subconscious is convinced, it moves heaven and earth to manifest your command. Faith without works is dead. Belief without building is a hallucination. The foundation is laid, now the work begins, now the building begins. And building requires action, not sporadic action. Not action when you feel inspired, but massive, consistent, disciplined action. Discipline is not punishment, it is devotion. It is love for your project expressed through daily effort. It is the difference between the amateur and the master. The amateur waits for inspiration. The master chases it with a club. He gets up every morning, no matter how he feels, and lays another brick. Think of the great sculptor who sees an angel inside a block of marble. He doesn't wait for the angel to appear. He takes his hammer and chisel and removes everything that isn't the angel. Each day he chips away a little more of the rough stone. Most people would see only dust and noise, they wouldn't see progress, but the sculptor knows. He knows that every stroke, no matter how small, brings him closer to his vision. Your life is that block of marble. Your daily habits are the hammer and chisel. Every choice you make, from the time you wake up to what you read before bed, is either chipping away at the stone to reveal your empire, or you are adding more layers of rough stone to it. There is no neutral movement. You are either building or you are eroding. The universe does not respond to lazy intentions. It responds to movement. Action is the language the cosmos understands. You can have the most brilliant design and the strongest faith, but if you don't pick up the tools and start digging, your ground will remain empty forever. Discipline is the bridge between your vision and your reality. It is what transforms the architect into the builder, and this is where most fail. They love the idea of empire but hate the noise of building. They want the crown, but not the weight of it. They want the victory, but not the battle. You must fall in love with the process, the sweat, the grind, the monotony of laying brick after brick, day after day. Because it is in these unglamorous moments that empires are truly forged. While others are sleeping, you are drawing. While others are having fun, you are building. While others are complaining, you are learning. You must organize your entire life around your project. Your time, your energy, your resources. Everything must serve the construction. It requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to 1,000 good distractions so that you can say yes to the one great obsession. Andrew Carnegie didn't build his steel empire by working only when he felt like it. He built it through relentless dedication, through maniacal focus on a single goal. He understood that scattered energy is wasted energy. Concentrated energy can pierce steel. Focus your life. Create rituals of power. Conquer the morning and you will conquer the day. Start each day by connecting with your blueprint, feeling your belief, and then accomplish the most important task before the world has a chance to distract you. Action, consistency, discipline. These are not buzzwords. They are the steel cogs in the machine of creation. They are the force that takes the ethereal blueprint of your mind and forcibly imprints it into physical reality. And as you build, be prepared, because the storm will come, and the storm will come. Not as a possibility, but as a certainty. The universe always tests the strength of a new structure. It will send winds of adversity, rains of criticism, and earthquakes of temporary failure. It is at this point that the character of the builder is revealed. The weak builder, the one whose foundation of belief was shallow, will see the storm as a sign to give up. He will say, "I tried, but it was not meant to be." He will abandon his half-built project and blame the storm. But the master builder, he smiles when the storm comes, because he understands a deep secret. The storm does not come to destroy the empire. It comes to strengthen it. Every failure is feedback. Every obstacle is an engineering lesson. Every temporary setback reveals a weakness in your plan that you can now correct. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is an integral part of it. Abraham Lincoln was a man who knew the storm intimately. He failed in business, was defeated in 8 separate elections, lost the love of his life and suffered a nervous breakdown. By the world's standards, he was a monumental failure. But in Lincoln's mind, his blueprint, a nation united and free, remained intact. Each defeat was not an endpoint, it was a stepping stone. He used pain, humiliation, and loss as fuel. He allowed the storms to sculpt him, to make him stronger, wiser, more resilient. And when his moment came, he was no longer the frail young man who had failed in business. He was Abraham Lincoln, a giant forged in the fires of adversity, ready to lead a nation through its darkest hour. You must learn to love endurance, to see every problem as a sparring partner for your soul. When resources run dry, your creativity will be forced to awaken. When people abandon you, your self-confidence will be forced to deepen. When plans fail, your adaptability will be forced to evolve. Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a hard life. The strongest oak grows not in the sheltered soil, but in the strongest winds. And on this journey, you will discover another secret of the master builders, the power of the mastermind. No great empire was ever built alone. Seek out other architects. Ally yourself with minds that vibrate at the same frequency as you, minds that understand your project, that believe in your vision and that can complement your weaknesses. The synergy of two or more minds working in perfect harmony toward a common goal creates a third, invisible, intangible mind, the mastermind, whose strength is greater than the sum of its parts. It is a force that can solve impossible problems and attract opportunities on a scale that you could never achieve alone. And finally, as you build, as you struggle, as you overcome, practice the ultimate art, gratitude. Be grateful for everything, for the blueprint in your mind, for the belief in your heart, for the strength in your arms to build. Be grateful for the storms, for they are your greatest teachers. Be grateful for the failures, for they are your guides. Gratitude is the sealant that protects your empire. It is the recognition that although you are the architect, you are not the ultimate source of the material. You are working in partnership with infinite intelligence. Gratitude keeps you humble and open, allowing more wisdom, more strength, and more inspiration to flow through you. Now I call you to a challenge, a ritual of power. For the next 7 days, I challenge you to practice the Architect's Hour. Take the first 15 minutes of your day before any distractions to sit in silence and mentally walk through your already built empire. Feel the gratitude for the completed work. Do this before you place a single physical brick. This is a training for your mind to live in the result. Accept this commitment. Write in the comments, "I am the architect," challenge accepted, to seal your pact with your destiny. And then one day, you will look up from your work. The dust will have settled, the storm will have passed, and before you will be your empire, solid, real, just as you saw it in your mind all this time. And in that moment, you will understand the ultimate truth, the deepest truth of all. The empire was never the real prize. The wealth, the status, the accomplishments, they are just byproducts. The real prize was you, the person you had to become to build the empire, the master architect, the resilient builder, the leader forged in fire. You were not building an empire, the empire was building you. And as you are ready to stop being a mere world dweller and become an architect of realities, join our nation of sovereign minds. Subscribe to the Enriching Attitude Now. Channel and activate the bell so you don't lose any tools. And if there is someone in your life who is looking at an empty land, not knowing the power they have, be the light. Share this video and awaken another architect. This is your inheritance. This is your innate power. The power to create from nothing. The universe is not complete. It has left a space for your empire. So take your most powerful tool. Sharpen your mind. Draw your blueprint with the ink of your soul. Lay your foundation with the rock of your faith and begin to build now. The ground waits. Eternity watches. Build. Now that you understand how to design your empire, the next step is to remove the only obstacle that can prevent its construction, yourself. Click on the video that appears on the screen and learn how to win the battle against yourself. It is the logical continuation of your journey. See you at the next level.